All right, guys. Welcome in to a special edition, non-podcast version of an ORJ episode. We are going video now. It's 2019, so we can make some videos, I guess.
And they're in color.
High definition even. So since the Rebellion in the Rim is coming out, for the rest of you plebs that didn't get it yet, we are going to start going over the objectives for you guys, because the new stuff coming out, like we've talked in the podcast, it's really wordy, and some of them are fucking confusing, and it takes a while to get used to, but there's some really good objectives in here, and they're going to change the game, especially with the SSD coming out, along with the upgrades. But in this video, we're just going to go over three. We chose one of each color. We're going to do Mark for Destruction, Abandoned Mining Facility, and Hyperspace Migration. We're going to go through how you should set it up. We might even give you a couple tips in here. I don't know. We're just kind of doing this a little bit on the fly. And we're also going to talk to you guys about how the obstacles should be moved, because there's a pretty specific way they should be moved and where they can and where they cannot go. And that's fairly important. So let's get started. By the way, we got myself here. This is Bill.
And Matt.
And Brian's doing the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Brian's sitting to the side behind a laptop, staring at the video.
He's the smart one.
So, all right, so Mark for Destruction. First thing we're going to do is we're going to read through it. So, setup. Place obstacles as normal, adding the 2 dust fields and excluding the station and asteroid fields. Then the second player, which is going to be me, places the 2 Purgle in the setup area. Each Purgle must be placed beyond distance 1 of all obstacles and beyond distance 5 of both players' edges. Special rule. Each ship has the following critical effect. Crit effect. If this attack is at close to medium range, remove all objective tokens from enemy ships. Then assign an objective token to the defender. So what that means is there can never be more than 1 objective token on a ship. In that very kind of confusing little paragraph, they're essentially telling you that you can ever only score 1 objective from a ship. And this is we're about to tell you how you score it. And the objectives are worth 15 points each. After a player moves a Purgle, if that Purgle is at distance 1 of a ship with an objective token, that player may choose and discard 1 objective token. Then that ship suffers 1 face-down damage, and the opposing fleet's owner gains 1 victory token. So there you go. That's how you score it. You essentially mark a ship with pheromones or garbage or something, and then it attracts the stupid Purgle to the ship and attacks it, putting a damage on it and getting you victory points. I don't know. Yeah. And here's your Purgle, by the way, if you guys haven't seen him yet. Is that where the fucking camera is?
I'll do an overlay.
Yeah, do an overlay. So we'll do an overlay of the Purgle. They're literally just sperm. It's space sperm. These things are dumb as shit. But they do have their uses, and we'll go through them here in a little bit. So let's start back from the beginning, and let's do Mark for Destruction. So we place obstacles as normal, adding the 2 dust fields and excluding the station. So I'll be second player. I'll put a dust field. By the way, we're obviously not doing a 6x3 board. We're just doing a 3x3 because this is more of just a teach you guys how to do it, not like we don't need a whole 6x3 to show you how to set it up. So let's do a dust field there. Do a debris field there. Dear. I'll do a dust field. Make sure they're beyond it. Right there.
And last, let's put that just right there.
Okay, now me being the second player, I place 2 Purgles in the setup area. Must be beyond distance 1 of all obstacles and beyond distance 5 of both players' edges. So, here, let's get cute. We'll put a Purgle, like, right there. And then I'm going to put the other Purgle, like, right there. There's our Purgle. Okay? Now, when we start deploying, let's just say we deployed some stuff. And we're just going to put shit here like this. Okay. And then we start doing stuff. Let's say we got into combat. Things are moving. So first, what would be more important is to tell you what the Purgle do and how you move the Purgle. So the Purgle, when a ship overlaps a Purgle obstacle, that ship suffers an amount of damage equal to its speed. When a squadron overlaps a Purgle, that squadron suffers 1 damage. At the end of each round, starting with the second player and alternating, each player chooses one Purgle obstacle and moves it to within 1 to 2 of its current location. Each player must choose a different Purgle obstacle to move. Now, we're going to talk about how you move obstacles because that's important now, more than it was before. So, determine direction is the first step. Place the range ruler flat on the table. If you want to do this as I talk it out, Matt.
Yeah.
Place the range ruler flat on the table with the distant side face up. The center of the distance one end of the ruler must be in contact with the obstacle's edge. If the range ruler cannot be placed in the play area due to other ships and squadrons being in the way, hold the range ruler above the player and estimate the object's final position. That's just common sense. Move the obstacle. Pick up the obstacle and position it anywhere along the center of the ruler up to the line that marks the end of the distance band matching the specified maximum movement. The obstacle cannot be placed beyond that line. Then remove the range ruler and place the obstacle in its final position. Now here's some bullet point notes for you guys to keep in mind. The obstacle at its final position cannot overlap ships, squadrons, other obstacles, or tokens in the play area. So that's something for you guys to keep in mind tactics-wise. So if you're worried about, if you're playing this objective, if you're worried about a Purgle moving up on your ship or getting in range, screen yourself with squads or screen yourself with other obstacles. Or other ships. Maybe you got another ship you'd rather get hit. Like a little screen ship, like a fucking Gazanti or something like that. To block off your to block off your ISD from getting hit by that Purgle. The obstacle can be rotated as long as no part of that obstacle is beyond the specified maximum distance of its move from the object's original position. An obstacle can move through ships, squadrons, and obstacles without issue. Only its starting and final positions matter. If an obstacle with a token placed on it due to an objective card or other effect is moved, that token remains on that obstacle. So that's like, what's one of the original objectives where, you know what I'm talking about? The fucking that's got like tokens on it and stuff. And you land on it, and you pick it up.
Yeah.
So this is for like if you have like
dangerous territory.
Dangerous territory. So if you have a dick out there and it grabs and moves those obstacles, the obstacles come with the tokens come with it now. I don't know if it was specified before. I can't recall.
I don't remember.
So
I'm sure it was fact though.
Yeah. If an obstacle that is overlapped by a ship or squadron is moved, the ship or squadron remains in its current position after the obstacle is moved. When an obstacle moves, the player moving that obstacle can choose for it to remain in its current position unless a minimum movement distance is specified. Now for the Purgle, it says each player chooses one Purgle obstacle and moves it to within distance 1 to 2 of its current location. So to me that reads you don't have to move the thing if you don't want to. You can sit still if you like. So we would go back and forth. So let's say at the end of a round, I'm the second player. I move the first Purgle. We'll go back to their original position, and I'll move this Purgle here like this. So I'll just put it there, and I'll do like one of these things.
And I don't want any Purgles near me at all, if I can help it.
Well,
And I prefer to put them by Bill, so we'll just kind of...
try to start sending them my way. Okay, and let's say we're like a round or two later. I'm like right here. And Matt's moved over there for some reason. And then, all right, so let's say we got an attack at close to medium range. Remove all objective tokens from the enemy, then assign. So let's say I just fired a shot from my dude right now. I then... Oh, we don't have any objective tokens. Let's get an objective token. These are objective tokens? I don't fucking remember what objective tokens are in this game. These are objective tokens. Okay, cool. So I fired 9. Let's say I had a crit effect on my ship. I had a crit effect in my die roll. It'll go, I'll mark his ship, and then let's say I'm just moving like speed 1 or something like that. And then Matt goes. Yeah. And then he fires. Let's say he got a crit effect. And then he marks my ISD with it. And then he moves like a speed 1 or something like that. No, there we go. He's actually in a really bad position right now. So, and then we start moving Purgles.
You guys both are.
Yeah, this is not going to go well.
No.
So the first Purgle I'll move will be this one. And I'll just do like this. Try to get that son of a bitch away from me. without overlapping something.
But now, because of the way the obstacles are and the ships, I don't think I can squeeze my a Purgle, getting it close enough to Bill. I could maybe do something like
Yeah, you
that.
just definitely want to move it away from you.
Yeah.
All right, so after players move a Purgle, if that Purgle, so this would have happened before Matt moved his, one ship with an objective token, that player may choose and discard that objective token. So I would choose and discard this. I would get 15 points, and then that ship suffers a face down damage, and I would get my victory point. And that's it. You just keep playing this way. You keep moving the Purgles around. Now, let's say Matt is flying. Let's say he's going speed 2, and he does one of these maneuvers, and for whatever reason, he lands over the Purgle and that thing. Let's not do that. He hits that at like speed 2. Matt has to take 2 damage. That's 2 damage. You can take that on shields if you want, if you still got shields or whatever. It doesn't have to be hull. But the objective for Mark for Destruction says that you have to take a face-down damage card for this. And that's it. That's Mark for Destruction. Do you guys have anything you want to add on that?
So one thing to keep in mind, if you have contains and the damage control officer, he would cancel that crit effect because he stops all crit effects from triggering. So you could use that to shut them down to deny them objective tokens.
Yep. And also, if you have a... So this objective would be bad for you if you like having a fleet with a bunch of crit effects in it. Like if you want to be popping off APTs and ACM or HIE or whatever, you kind of don't want to waste, you don't want to forego those to then do this instead. This objective is for a fleet that like wants to get close somehow because you need to be close to medium range, but doesn't really care about proccing their own crit effects. And honestly, at the top of my head, I can't even think of a fleet that wants to do that necessarily. Maybe like a bunch of CR90s flying around real fast, they dip in and then dip back out.
Yeah,
but there's actually better objectives for them.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is
some
kind
kind
of
of an MSU fleet, maybe.
right, but that doesn't want to do crit effects
Yeah.
because you got to replace your crit effects with that.
I mean, if you did a double ISD list,
Could be.
you don't have, you just use a standard crit effect, so you might as well use it to get points, right?
Yeah, there's that. Sure.
Riken.
Well, you can use that either way.
That's true.
Well, no, you actually can't because you can never have more than one objective token on a ship, and a Purgle only removes one.
Yeah.
So that's where they actually put that in, so you can't abuse it. Like, there is that one objective where you attack the rear of a ship, and you just keep attacking the Riken rear of the Riken ship,
You can farm it, yeah.
and just farm the shit out of it. Yeah. So, okay, that is marked for destruction. Next one we're going to go over is clean that up. Abandoned mining facility. So the second player places the station in the center of the setup area. Reference. There you go. And then for this one, Matt will be the second player. Then, starting with the second player, the players alternate placing the remaining obstacles, adding the 2 Purgle and 2 dust fields, and excluding the asteroid fields at distance 2 to 5 of the station. So the obstacles are essentially the same as Mark for Destruction, except for we add a station in the center of the play area. And important to note, they have to be at distance 2 to 5 of the station.
And at is at, not within.
Yep.
At.
So touching. Yep. Or not, because it would be at 2 to 5.
Or.
Yep. It just essentially
Where?
cannot be... Think of it as cannot be within 1 to 2. After deploying fleets, each of the second player's ship gains a engineering token. Okay. So with a special rule for this, each ship can resolve the following effect. Engineering. You may spend engineering points to gain victory tokens from one station or dust field at distance 1. If that obstacle is a station, gain 1 token for each 3 points you spend. If that obstacle is a dust field, gain 1 token for each 2 points you spend. Then, if the obstacle is a dust field and you gained more than 1 victory token, remove that obstacle from the play area. So, let's set up the field. Let's do... So, your second player, go ahead.
So I'll set a debris field.
Yep. And I'll take... Because these are going to be... You're going to want these things. So, I'm going to put a Deuter over here.
Take one myself.
And I'll throw Purgle out here. Why not? Stupid things.
Debris field.
And then a Purgle. They're circling the station for no reason. Now, while we're putting these down, guys, these aren't like necessarily optimal positions. This is more just examples to show you guys how to do it.
It'll also look different on a 3x6.
Yeah, it also look different on a 3x6. Probably a lot more spread out, possibly. Just depends on what you got going on. All right, so So we did 2 to 5, right? We actually probably should have measured that. I actually deployed that guy totally wrong. So there's 2 to 5 after we just talked about it. So we're still at 2. This one pushes out a little more. This Purgle would go here. And then everything is at 2 to 5. So at 5 could be like here. Touching here if you want it. Obviously that's in my deployment zone. It's illegal. But if I like kicked it out that way, you could put one out here if you want. As long as it's at 2 to 5. All right, there we go. And then they're down. And then let's say we just deployed like these bros. I'd actually put him near a dust field because you want to start mining that thing. Okay, so the idea behind this objective is there's valuable, whatever you want to call it, gases, minerals inside these guys and the station. Okay? These guys don't get you shit, neither do the Purgles. If that obstacle is a station game one, so let's say I activate here and I show an engineering token. The engineering value in ISD is 4. So, as it says, for the dust field, for every 2 points you spend, you get 1 token. So if I wanted to blow all 4 points right now on that dust field, I would get 2 points, and it would just go away. I'd have to pick it up and take it away. Or I could choose to just spend 1 point of 2 points of engineering to take 1 point away from it, keeping it on the board so I can keep farming it as I move forward. And I spend the other engineering on shields or whatever the fuck you got going on.
Yep.
And then let's say as we're moving up, things have happened. Let's say Purgle's moved somewhere. Bing, Purgle there. Move that Purgle. So you gotta remember, you gotta move these Purgles at the end of the round within 1 to 2 every time. And then we start farming the station. I'm short. Matt's up on that station. So he can start spending every 3 engineering points he spends, he gains 1 victory token. And the points of these victory tokens are worth 10 each. So this could be a really good objective, especially for like a dick with the grav well. Or not grav well, what is it called? It's
Grav shift.
the grav shift. Put that bit, like let's say the obstacles are all placed here. Put this bitch, if your opponent lets you do this, it's at 1 to 3, right? To move stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, so put it here, and then you just grab all this shit and move it. And you move obstacles, what, distance 1 to 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do this.
Everything moves 1 to 2 for some reason.
Yeah, imagine that. So this, I would kick this stupid Purgle out this way. 1 to 2 this way with the dust field. Dust field here. Go 1 to 2. And let's say I'm really smart and I would just set up here. And then as I'm moving, I'm just spending 1 engineering from this to keep farming it. And as I blow by it, or if I'm going to be past it, then I'll blow all 7 engineering with a token. No, it has 8 with a token, right?
Yeah.
So I could blow 8, give me 2, 4, 6, 8, 4 points off of one of these things with a dick.
Yeah.
And just drain that bitch. And then as you're going up to the station, you can drain the shit out of that thing too.
Yeah, or as I'm creeping up on it.
Yeah. So it's an interesting idea to like not blow all your engineering and just farm these things slowly if you can. And then once your enemy gets close, blow it and then yank it off the board and get a bunch of points. So there's that. There's abandoned mining facility. You guys want to say anything else about that one? Nope. All right. And on to the last one we're going to do for today is Hyperspace Migration. And for some reason, we chose all the Purgle ones, even though I hate Purgles.
Just get them over with.
Just get it over with. We're trying to just knock this out so you guys can deal with it yourselves. Setup. Place obstacles as normal, excluding the station. Then the second player, which will be me this time. Then the second player places 1 objective token in the play area at distance 1 of a 3-foot edge and another objective token at distance 1 of the opposite 3-foot edge. And when they're saying that, they mean the 3-foot edge is out here. So if we got a 6x3 table, it'll be on these edges. not this side, these edges. Special rule. At the start of the ship phase of the first and third rounds, the second player, me, places one Purgle not in the play area at distance 1 of 1 objective token. The objective token must be the same during both rounds. When a Purgle moves, it must move toward the objective token at the opposite 3-foot edge. When a Purgle touches that objective token, that Purgle is removed from the play area. So essentially these fucking space sperm are migrating to their sperm grounds where they're going to mate and make more sperm. So they're trying to just get across the board to the other edge of the board, and then they disappear, and then they keep showing up and then going across the board. Having played this before, they're never going to get to the other side, if I recall correct. They never do.
Not in a standard game.
No. End of round. If a ship has one objective token on it, remove the token, and that ship's owner gains 1 victory token. If a ship is at distance 1 from a Purgle and has no objective tokens on it, place 1 objective token on the ship. So, kind of a little bit in reverse of marked for destruction, the Purgle are putting objective tokens on ships now, instead of eating the ship or whatever the idea is behind marked for destruction.
Yeah.
So, let's start. Setup. Place obstacles as normal, excluding the station. Then the second player, myself, places 1 objective token in the play area. So we have no station. So we just start putting these out here. Let's say I would just do this rock here.
Put one here.
Put a rock here.
Refill there. And last rock.
And I'll rock you like a hurricane out here. All right. And then the second player places 1 objective token in the play area at distance 1 of a 3-foot edge and another objective token at distance 1 of the opposite 3-foot edge. So, using our imagination a little bit, it's at distance 1, so you're right there on it. And then let's say I put one way the fuck over here for whatever reason. There. There's those 2. So, at the start of the ship phase, let's say we deployed some stuff. Let's put our ISD and our 75 back out there. At the start of the ship phase of the first and third round, so let's just assume it's the first round, the second player places 1 Purgle not in the play area at distance 1 of 1 objective token. So, let's put Homebra at distance 1. We'll put him right there, just with his sperm tail touching right there. And then, at distance 1 of the objective token must be the same during both rounds. So, since I placed at this objective token this round, for the third round when I put the second Purgle out, it must come off of this token here. You can't like have them bumping sperm faces from opposite sides or some shit like that. So, all right. When a Purgle moves, it must move toward the objective token at the opposite 3-foot edge. When it touches the token, it is removed from the play area. That's never going to happen. So, let's say it just goes. So, to go towards an objective, you're supposed to point the range ruler essentially at that token and take the most direct route you can. So, it would be like this, but I could still turn it like this if I want, as long as I stay within 2, but I would just do that. Okay? And then, so for the end of a round, let's say it's the end of the round and Matt's actually moved up to near this thing. If a ship has 1 objective token on it, okay, so objective tokens. He doesn't have an objective token on him yet because the Purgle assigns the objective token. So at the end of the round, so it'd be very hard at the end of the first round to have an objective token on something. But let's say it's the second round and he's there now. If a ship has 1 objective token on it, remove the token and that ship's owner gains 1 victory token. If a ship is at distance 1 from Purgle and has no objective tokens on it, place 1 objective token on the ship. So, let's say we're at the first round and he's sitting there. I would put an objective token on him, like so. And then at the end of the second round, when... Yep. So it's at the end of the round. So at the end of the second round, Matt's like over here and I've done some Yankee shit like that. At the end of the round, I can just choose to take it off. And I get 20 points. And they're worth 20 points.
So in this instance, it would actually behoove you to not destroy the ship until you have a chance to take the objective token off of it and score it.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially.
Yeah, it just essentially could add an extra 20 points to some ships. Me personally, I don't know. This is a pretty dopey objective. I don't know if I'd ever put it in a competitive list. One thing I will say about these Purgles is I shit all over them, is that they are kind of useful in actually using them as a blocker if you're the second player for yourself. I've effectively used them to like block so I was obstructed taking shots or block certain zones so that squadrons don't come up. Because if squadrons go on them, they start taking damage on themselves. And their shot will be obstructed towards you. So like, as an example, just for, let's say we were moving up this way, and I chose to move this Purgle myself and keep it near me. I could then move it here like this. And sure, I'm obstructed, but it obstructs Matt from his shot towards me as well. Also, where it's super useful, we don't have any squads out right now, be like put it there. That way no squads can get an open shot on you, and they have to land on the Purgle somewhere. You can kind of protect your front arc a little bit. Depending on the angle, there's a lot of variables, but think of them, when you're using them, as like blockers, more than like something you attack with. I found them more useful using them in a defensive posture than an offensive posture to try to help yourself with them. Otherwise, they're pretty worthless. They don't do a whole lot. That's about it, I think. Yeah. Do you want to say anything about hyperspace migration?
Just no.
No, yeah, just
Not
don't
really.
ever use it. It exists. So think of that. But hey, you know what? We're early on. Maybe one of you fucking brainiac nerds will come up with an awesome list that revolves around using Purgles all the time. And
we had a year and a half between releases, so last Gen Con, Garm and a double dick list were at the top table, final round.
That's true, and I think that was more born out of pure boredom with what's like competitive than anything else. But yep, all right. So that's the first 3 we're going to talk about. Brian's going to edit this up, going to send it out, see how we feel about it, and we'll move forward. Eventually. Don't you dare this.
When did you start working for FFG?
Yeah. All right, thanks for joining us, guys, and we're going to be recording an episode later today, so.
Which will probably be up first before this.
I would assume it'll be up way before this. So, all right, see you guys later.